Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Double Stuff podcast, where we're double the hosts, double the topics, and double the fun. And I'm Alan.
I'm Sarah.
I'm Charity.
And I'm Dan.
And I have something that's on my brain, maybe just because I'm a dad, but I want to talk about lawn care today.
Lawn care?
Yeah, as in grass, as in the area around your house.
Stimulating conversation today, folks.
Well, it could be, I have a couple of
Grass-related conversation?
Grass-related psychology, I would say. Let me ask you this, okay?
Okay.
All right. What do you think about when you think of the lawn? Is that primary like when you're going at your house, going over to somebody else's house? How does that rank in just your walking in first impressions of a property?
I do admit when I do first get to someone's house, that is the first thing I see. So,
yes.
A lot of times I'm like, oh, that's nice, but I'm not like, whoa, check out the blades on that lawn.
I will say though, if you remember in Indiana, we were growing up. If you remember around the corner, there was that guy that we never saw, but he always had the perfect lawn. He had the willow tree in his yard.
That's right.
His yard was like
perfect.
Like it was perfect. Meanwhile, everyone else had the peasants mowing their yard, so it wasn't like a high school kid coming to earn $15 for the summer. Like
Right.
he had a professional.
He hired help,
and we never saw him, but he always had a very nice lawn, and that's what I remember about.
I like how we start with the fact that there's this nondescript guy that we never saw, but he had the best lawn.
But you knew something about him from his lawn, right? Like you're able
creepy
to
guy with the great lawn. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, how about you, Dan? Where does it rank for you?
I view lawn care like people behind the scenes in any kind of like production. Unless it's really messed up, you don't even notice.
Okay, fair enough.
That's a good mindset for the average.
Well,
I like
our
that.
yard in the past few places we've lived, I think just because of the soil and stuff, like, living in the Bel Air area, there's more of bald patches because, there's grass seed and stuff and, it's been watered or whatever, but grass just doesn't grow. And so it's like an old man with bald patches. Like the grass doesn't want to grow.
Watch your mouth.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
I wasn't even going to mention anything.
Well, okay, I didn't name
now that we're at it, Alan's basically one of those chia pets, right? He has to water his scalp all the time.
It's an incomplete chia. It's a defective.
So some of those seeds didn't grow. Sorry.
Some of them are starting to stop. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, bringing it back to the lawn, though, I think that's kind of where we took it. Is it's something that I feel that I take great pride in. I want to make sure that my lawn looks good, and primarily I just care mainly about grass and trees. I don't care about flowers or anything like that. Now, when you think of a good-looking lawn, is it the complete package with a nice garden, maybe a flower garden or a vegetable garden or something like that? Or do you just think kind of typical Midwest grass and healthy trees?
Well, vegetable gardens are usually in the back, so I normally don't see the produce section up front, at least from the way I'm thinking of it.
Yeah, primarily.
I will think so at our old house, what are they called when the flowers just grow by themselves? Not weeds. No, I knew you were going to say weeds. No.
Weeds.
No, they're actual flowers, like the ones that come up around Easter, the little...
Oh, like they come up around Easter?
I know nothing about horticulture.
I just think of them like wildflowers.
Yeah.
That's an old joke. You can lead a
Grassiology.
Grassiology. We're gonna get.
You learned that at Degrassi Junior High.
We're gonna get someone to comment and be like, "You guys know about plants." But that's what I think of, like the flowers that grow by themselves, because I like those because you don't have to do anything.
Like daffodils.
What the ones that you see around Easter time?
Those are a weed.
The annuals, right? I think
perennials.
Perennials are the ones that come up.
Let's not expose all of our incompetence.
No, the whole purpose of this episode is to show how much we don't know and how much Alan does.
Okay, well, coming back around to why I picked this topic. So I go on walks with my dog, and here's something that it just infuriates me. All right. Part of taking care of your lawn is to do the whole job in its entirety. Every once in a while, when I'm walking around, you'll see a house that does 99% of the job. They will mow their entire yard except for that 2-inch strip that's right by the curb. And so
Oh,
you have 2-foot long blades of grass
yeah.
that is hiding a well-mowed lawn. And it bothers me. Why wouldn't you just go the extra
Extra more.
1%?
Mhm.
Because you
And
need
just-
an extra tool
Well-
for that. If you do the little weed whacker thing, right?
What were you
Let me
saying,
ask you a
Dan?
question then. That there is a certain amount of your yard that's owned by the city, right? Like up to this, like the curb or something like that.
So
Do you
the
think
city
that
has to
people
get your
think
2
about
inches?
that you're like, well, this
I think
part's
that
the
people
city,
absolutely do.
and I don't want to do
I think
that
people,
part.
I think that people think if I can't put stuff on that part of the yard because it belongs to the city, then I'm not going to take care of it.
I mean,
No.
obviously
But I'm
Dan
talking
can
about
do that.
like, let's say, like, like your property goes all the way to the curb, right, or to the street.
Mm-hmm.
I would assume,
doesn't.
or at least that's how I feel. So why wouldn't you mow every single inch from your house to the curb? It frustrates me, people.
I didn't think someone's going to make a podcast episode about it.
That's true. I have this.
Okay.
I have this weird feeling that Alan is not coming out with the fact that while he's walking his dog, he has a secret, thing of like hedge clippers in his back pocket,
right.
and he's like,
I'm taking
"Oh,
notes.
there are some blades that are
I'm
sticking out,"
taking notes.
and he's going to somehow surreptitiously, start snipping.
Well, for me, like I was saying, it's kind of like a psychology thing. For me, it's if you can't go the extra little, and this is coming back to just being a parent and being frustrated with not completing a job, because that's really what I guess when I see it as lawn care is you have a job. It's to take care, be a good steward of what you've been blessed with, and do it completely. Why would you do any job 90% of the way and not finish it? I think that's what it really is. It has relatively little to do with lawn care and more into why not just finish a job?
This is like a Sunday
a
sermon.
good
I'm
point.
waiting for the offering plate to come around.
Go ahead,
Absolutely.
Dan.
We had growing up, we had a pretty unique thing because we had a corner lot, and it was bigger than most of our neighbors, and we just had a push mower to mow it. Nothing fancy or anything like that. But what was unique about it is that my father was a photographer, and he used the yard. It was set up so that way he could go there and take photos. So he could bring people to the house, and we had like a gazebo, we had a swing, we had like a little section of fence that he could pose with. So lawn care was important because it was part of his job. So of course I got roped into doing that as well, and it was the same thing where it's like you had to have it done right. You didn't just like cut corners basically.
But didn't you feel good about the fact, like, once you're done? I know that it's hard. Lawn work is hard work, and I get that. And nobody likes to just be drenched in sweat. But when you're done, don't you revel in hey, my yard looks good? My thing is, it also is. I think it's a reflection on me, right?
I guess it's a first impression thing because they may not meet you or see inside of your house. So I guess if your front yard looks good, then that represents you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this whole season for the podcast, we've been delving into the arts of some sort. So
Okay.
you're obviously making an art out of this because you wanted to be perfect, you wanted to look good, you wanted to reflect who you are, and maybe have, maybe later on you'll start, doing those fancy artistic hedge trimmings or whatever, like you see.
Oh yeah. What is that?
I don't know.
Another word.
Topiary, right? Isn't it topiary?
Topiary? That sounds like a word.
Let's go with that until proven wrong.
It definitely
it's
sounds
what
like
you
a
learn.
word.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's what you learn after Grassiology. So once you graduate Grassiology, you get into topiary.
Topiary.
It's called
That's the
topiary.
case then.
Topiary.
Topiary, the art or practice of clipping shrubs or trees into ornamental
I am the
shapes.
king of the world. Let me tell you something about
Same guy who
myself.
said grassiology, which I know is not a word.
Wait, are we going? I think
Probably
we're
the smartest
transitioning
man
from lawn
alive.
care to Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah. That's
And now you can use his expertise to help trim those
right.
little edges by the
Hey,
sidewalk.
Halloween's coming up.
that's right. Get a Freddy Krueger glove and just start hacking away. What's he doing? It's topiary, kids.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Is that your homeschool curriculum now
That's
for your
right.
girls?
That's PE now, girls. Put on the Freddy Krueger
Alan-
glove.
Lawn.
So if that's the case, if you care about the way that it sort of looks, then do you bag your clippings then, or do you let the mulch
Great
just hang out
question.
there?
Absolutely. I bag my clippings. I make sure that it gets to the curb. Now, like what you were talking about, I do have some spots in my yard that need work, and I think that I don't blame myself for. I don't try to fuss over that too much. Although my wife might say that I fuss over it, but I don't think I spend a whole lot of time thinking about it. Well, maybe a little bit.
Are you sure about this?
You're contradicting yourself like 4 times already.
I watch YouTube videos about lawn care, guys. Yeah, no, you guys are probably right. I think way too much about it, but I also see it as like a flex. It's when you go to a house.
Flex lawn care.
Yes,
Yeah.
because you go to a house where obviously a tremendous amount of work has gone into the grass and has gone into the shrubs, maybe even a flower garden. It's a huge flex, and you're like, oh man, I could be doing so much more. I gotta up my game. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's only impressive if the homeowner is doing it himself. If there's like a person coming in or a surface coming in,
okay.
then that just means that you're rich, which is another type of flex. But if you're like, hey, I did all of this lawn care myself, I planted the garden, I put it in the porch swing, I made the tree house. Like if you're doing all of that yourself, then yes, that's impressive.
Yeah,
So
I
it
agree.
depends.
I agree. I think you're right. It's a tremendous kudos and a feather in the cap of the person that's doing and performing the work.
Yeah.
But if you're just outsourcing it, then you're just you're flex. It's a different flex.
I'm going to be straight up honest. I have no desire doing it on my own, so I would totally hire somebody to do it, and I would have no qualms about people thinking about rich flex, poor flex, middle class flex. I'll even know what kind of.
I don't care what kind of flex it is.
I don't care what kind of flex. Just go and do my lawn.
That's right.
But partially along those lines, because we were talking about like the manicured lawns and stuff. And the one thing I do like once I'm able to finally do some awesome overseas travel, I love looking at pictures of like those huge castles or those big estates. And you do look at the lawn and it's just perfect.
Wait. You're talking about
that's
a
the
castle
ultimate
and you're
flex.
looking at the lawn.
Yeah, because they have,
The focus of the castle is the castle.
Oh no, the
and
castle.
the everything around it. You're looking at the grass of the castle.
Yeah,
I don't know.
If the topic is on castles, I'll say I'll look at the castle first. The topic's on lawn care, so I'm going to look at the lawn care first.
Yeah,
that's how that works in this podcast episode. So I'm going to say, when I look at castles, I look straight at the lawn. Yeah, forget the 300, 400, 500-year-old rock structure.
Okay.
It's the grass.
You know what,
like.
though? When we were at Versailles, I mean, part of the tour was touring the gardens, touring the yard.
Yeah, because I love like some of those got those mazes, like those.
Okay, but that's different than someone's front yard.
I don't think so, though, because you're the king of your own castle, and then these are your grounds, and this is where.
That's a stretch, dude.
Thanks, Alan. Thank you for that support.
No,
King
I don't think
Alan
so.
of Bel Air.
If you want to call me that, I'll take it.
Okay.
If that's the case, then if that's the case, I expect a moat.
Yes.
Okay. Now, when it rains, torrential rains, I do have a moat.
Okay, we getting.
Okay, sorry. I will say. I will say.
Not a ghetto fabulous boat and castle we're making here.
Yes. And you will bow when you enter the door.
Or apparently the drawbridge will just fall on top of you.
That's it. I got squirrel archers that will throw down
squirrel archers
acorns from the turrets.
Like this needs to be an animated cartoon now.
Oh my gosh!
Maybe I'll draw Alan in a king's hat and his little squirrel archer.
His squirrel.
You gotta have the squirrel. You gotta have the squirrels with trebuchets with their acorns.
That's right.
Ooh.
Trebuchets with all the school kids that go walking through my yard because I'm starting to be that dad too.
You're turning into
well, that's the thing. I want to make sure there's a school bus drop off. That's right at the intersection.
Right next to the moat.
That's right next to the moat. They go right in the water.
I hope you know how to swim, kids. Just okay. Well, if you're King Alan, so what will our role be in your domain? In your
you can come and visit.
Court jester.
Come and visit. Oh,
from the neighboring kingdom.
Oh, we're just mere.
We're just peasants. We don't have the yard that he does.
I pray thee, Lord Alan, please grant us entrance.
We're
you may pass.
We're the ones who take care of the yard.
That's what it's going to turn out being. He's like, oh, it's the lawn girl. Go out to the lawn, lawn girl.
That is secretly what this is all about. This is what
that's
this
why you
podcast led up to.
That's why he chose this topic. He was like, how else can I break it to them that I've just somehow I've gained an empire?
I need help with my yard.
Let's just say I became king for some reason, and I need a fully manicured lawn. How about my fellow podcast subjects?
So you're the Prince of Bel Air, not Alan King.
That's right.
Yeah, take that, Will Smith. You've been totally demoted. Come to Bel Air, Kansas.
Well, one of the things that speaking of just the flexing and everything else, is I do think that for me personally, it's an insight into just how the house is ran. You know how sometimes like you'll go over to somebody's house and you'll, just do a quick glance of how are they keeping up the kitchen or how are they keeping up the bathroom as an indicator of how the rest of the house that you're not going to go see at all is kind of kept. One of the things that I look for is how well the yard is kept. I don't know. For me, I guess it's just an insight, mainly because I know how difficult it is. I know how much work goes into it for sure. Yeah. And also the demands that it takes to maintain it. And I think that for those, I mean, it's an analogy for anything in life, but it shows that there's a certain level of dedication that somebody is showing to a ongoing project, and they're willing to step up to the task. And for me, I applaud that. So for those that are out there toiling in the boiling sun,
toiling in the boiling in the soiling of the
exactly
soil. Yeah.
I salute you.
Yeah, we audibly salute. Well, he does. I'll just, see. I guess I haven't really gotten to the point where I'm like, oh, this is the best. I like it.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Have you ever do you invest, or okay, you own a car, so you know it takes maintenance.
Yes.
Do you set aside money? I don't set aside money for car maintenance.
Well, it's because you have your loyal subjects to fix the car for you.
No. Besides that, but I'm just saying, like with the lawn care, I see it kind of like a car. So you need to make sure that you have well maintained equipment that's going to go into it. I mean, it takes a lot of work, guys.
Maybe it's because you're a homeowner.
That could be.
So, because Dan lives in you live in an apartment, right?
Yeah, I do.
So your thoughts on lawn care obviously are going to be totally different because you don't have a mortgage and everything. Like, what else takes care of that?
Charity, you're ruining
my thoughts on lawn care stem back to when I was in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was talking about he did it for his dad, so if the lawn didn't work, that's what Photoshop's
Well, what did you do, Dan? Did you bag all the grass or did you mulch it in?
We usually mulched it in, actually, for the most part, but because we didn't really have like our lawnmower didn't actually have a bagger on the back of it. But I didn't just do like work for my dad. I actually went, we had a family friend that was a realtor. So I actually picked up work doing jobs, mowing lawn for like the properties that were for sale.
Yeah, I can see Dan in this like Leave It to Beaver 1950-60 kind of thing with his striped shirt, and he's using those push mowers like they had back, and he's like,
I thought about that. I've seen YouTube videos on that.
Well, I mean, it's still that 50 style boy.
We actually decided that if we did ever get like a house at some point, we were just gonna go with the manual mowers.
Yeah. Well, they do battering too. One of the things that when I started up with a lawn with our first house is we had young kids, and I didn't want to have just gas laying around or oil or two-stroke or mixing it on the property and things like that. So battery technology is that's what I use for all of my lawn equipment.
Some people go Pioneer and they just get
a scythe.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, that's.
No, I was talking about Cherry talking about getting a goat or something. What? You win. He's still in his medieval world.
Okay.
He's a giant sickle and.
Well, maybe we went too far into the weeds on this one, but hopefully we were able to mow our way out. Yeah.
That works.
You are so dad in this episode.
Yeah.
Like your dad is oozing out of your ears right now.
Yeah. All right. It's okay. The grass is always greener on Alan's lawn anyway.
Yes. I love it. All right. Well, with that, thank you everybody for joining in on the topic, and let us know if you have awesome looking yards that you want Alan to give you the stamp of approval on.
And do you bag your clippings?
That's
let
right.
us know.
That's right. Send us a picture and let us know. All right. See you guys. Thanks for listening to today's episode. You can find other episodes on doublestuffpod.com or on your favorite podcast apps. You can also participate in the fun on social media on Facebook and Instagram at Double Stuff Podcast and on Twitter at Double Stuff P, as in the letter P.